It's Liam Alexander Stewart with Inside the Ropes, and I'm back with another fantastic interview for you today. You can see my guest across to my left. We are excited for this one. We are talking former ROH World Champion, former X Division Champion, 19-time Tag Team Champion, a man whose name I've dropped in every interview we've been doing since the start is the man who has the best finishing move in the business. It's none other than the Latin Terror himself, Homicide. Homicide, how are you doing today?
Oh, thank you for having me, man. It's been a pleasure and honor.
I am delighted to have this one. It's a known fact to anyone that's watched this channel or known me that my route into wrestling was TNA. And I remember the first time I saw the Cop Killer, I saw the Vertebraker. You blew my mind. You're my first mind blown moment in wrestling. So I'm excited to have this one. And of course, this interview is brought to you in line with NWA, ahead of NWA 74. So let's just jump in with that. It makes the most sense. NWA 74, you're going to defend your NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship against Kerry Morton. How are you feeling going into the match, and what should fans expect when the two of you step into the ring on August 27th?
I'm very honored to be part of this show. I grew up watching NWA when I was a kid. I grew up watching the Rock Express with Ricky Martin and Gibson. I remember in 1987, my teacher, Manny Fernandez, wrestled Ricky Martin. And now, being in 2022, I'm going to wrestle his son. Now, his son is the future legend of the sport. A lot of people consider him like, well, he's not the great ones on TV, big promotions. But I guarantee you, in 5, 10 years, a lot of people will be asking his autograph. They're going to be watching his matches. So it's going to be great, another to wrestle, but he needs to be ready because I'm not going over there like some kind of a soft core homicide. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to talk to some of my bosses to tell me okay, these are the things that you cannot do because I will do it. So he be ready for this challenge because it's for the title match for the NWA Junior title. I'm going out there at 187%. You better be ready, man. Because he better bring his A game because I'm bringing my A game.
I love it. And I mean, you mentioned his obviously legendary father. You yourself have faced off against Ricky Morton. It was yourself, LAX, Thomas Latimer against the Rock and Roll Express and Nick Aldis back in 2019. Are you a little bit worried that Ricky Morton might try and get involved to help his son out, or are you confident that even if Ricky tried to get involved in this match, that you've got him covered?
Oh, I'm very confident. If he try to get in, I'm gonna punch him in his face. That's the like,
I love it.
look. I grew up watching him. He's Hall of Famer of pro wrestling. Number five, he's a great human being, a great coach, but he knows better. If he gets in the ring with me, he's gonna get beat up. Hey, he should know about this with the Four Horsemen in the '80s. When he got beat out, him and his partner will be the same thing. I'm just more crazier. So
I love it. Great answer, man. I wanna talk a little bit more about sort of wider wrestling. You've been wrestling since your days back in Jersey All Pro back in '97. You've been wrestling almost as long as I've been alive. A lot of the listeners will have been sort of born since you've been wrestling. What
if
do
they get
you
old,
I was writing down the question. I was like, I'm just going to make the guy feel old here, but it's always a smooth segue. You've been wrestling, nearly 25 years now. What for you about the business has changed the most since your times in Jersey All Pro to now? And are you happy with the way that the wrestling business has changed?
not really. Be honest, it's a lot of people takes wrestling as a joke. I go out there and give them 100%. I don't give nobody a soft match.
Yeah.
Like I said, a lot of people treat this like a joke. The first question they will say is wrestling is fake. Sometimes you're gonna argue, or sometimes you gotta tell them the proper way. Hey, man, like I got my surgeries, broken nose, torn bicep, all this crap. So it can't be fake, I've been wrestling for 28 years, and I must be doing something good. I'm still around, and I got a title, So I'm like a Puerto Rican Terry Funk right now. So because I'm always saying I gotta retire, but something always keeping me back into the game. But when it comes to the new era of wrestling, you just gotta have respect. This is a new era. It's just like back in the days, in the 70s, 80s, we had like VHS that became uh what is called CDs,
Yeah,
then iPod, then all this technology stuff. It just keep going to different revolution, different generation. We got so many wrestlers in the wrestling worlds, and I'm happy about that. But it is changing. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. I just know that people take it as a joke. And when you wrestle me, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be a joke. It's gonna be like, wow, this is real. Homicide just punched me in the face. It's real. So it's like 50-50 to be honest with you. I'm just very blessed and very honored that I'm still here, man, because a lot of people they should be in my shoes. They are lucky not going through this madness. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
I love it. We always see, with a lot of the old school guys, I think Jim Cornette comes to mind, guys like that. The sort of style they take more of an issue with is the likes of Orange Cassidy with the kind of comedy stuff, or the Will Ospreay with the more high flying stuff. Where do you stand on that style of thing? Because it's very removed from sort of any era of Homicide. You're very boots to asses, fists to face. Is it something you take an issue with, or are you sort of more in the if it puts bums in seats, if it sells tickets, it's working?
Exactly. It was working. I mean, I hate country music, but I bet you there's a lot of body. If it's $1 billion company when it comes to country music, I'm not gonna tell this guy who's a big singer of country music, "Oh, you suck. You don't know how to." Man, this guy's a billionaire. He's gonna become a billionaire. Like I don't understand that. I wrestled Orange Cassidy one time. This was an independent show in New York City, and I like the guy. It's kind of funny that to me, when he drinks his orange juice, he becomes Popeye. That guy could wrestle. That's the one thing, and my nephew loves him, and that's his favorite wrestler. But Orange Cassidy, he's the man, bro. We got all these. Look, man, I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette. A lot of people hate him. I love Jim Cornette. I love him. I mean? He's a crazy white boy, but I love him. It's every style. Everybody loves that style. I always remember Colt Cabana. They used to do comedy wrestling. My son loved them. I'm not gonna tell my son stop it already. Oh, you're gonna be grounded. No, he loves them. So for my son loving this favorite wrestler right now, Will Ospreay. To me, he's the best in the world. I wrestle him. He proved it. To me, he's the best. We got so many names on that list, and Will Ospreay is the top 3 best in the world. So, there's a lot of different styles that I love. What I mean? Sometimes some people be like, "Oh, this is so corny. This is so BS." And man, if it puts boots in the seat to make that money, then people need to shut the hell up. You know what I mean? But like I said, when you wrestle me, I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be no comedy.
I love it. You're obviously massively revered for your incredible run in ROH. ROH World Champion. You fought some of the best wrestlers around. You were one of the, and still are one of the best wrestlers around. I want to ask you about kind of the situation with Ring of Honor now. It's kind of a secondary product of AEW and kind of being revised since Tony Khan bought out. Are you kind of optimistic about Ring of Honor under Tony Khan, or are you kind of a wee bit worried about what the future of a company you were once so integral with has to offer?
I mean, I'm not focused on, but I'm very happy they are back. I'm very happy that some of the guys they got their jobs back. Like I love Josh Woods, very great technical wrestler. He needs to be on Ring of Honor to show the world who he is. Same thing with Samoa Joe. Me and he went at it, and I'm happy that he's back to his promotion. No offense to all the wrestling, but Ring of Honor to me is number one. And to me that's bigger than all the wrestling. I'm very happy that the man named Samoa Joe is there. Same thing with Jolito. He is the franchise or Ring of Honor. That's a different story. I'm happy that what we call a Superman Switzerland, Claudia. Now, finally, like a lot of people don't know that him and his partner Chris Hero tried to take out Ring of Honor back in 2005. There was CZW, Comeback Zone Wrestler, whatever the hell names are, and I was the guy that saved the company. But the man who's a world champion and Ring of Honor once destroy Ring of Honor. Well, thank you for homicide. You're welcome, Ring of Honor, for saving lives. But yeah, man, your champion used to hate the company. But I'm very happy for Claudio. He's a good dude. He's a great wrestler. He deserves to be the world champion.
I love it. You mentioned All Elite Wrestling there, AEW. Fans were shocked. We saw you come to the rescue, your old partner Eddie Kingston in AEW. Listen, I remember watching there, and like I've said, you are one of my, if I'm talking the most influential wrestlers in my list, you're right up there. And I remember being sat there 2 a.m. here in the UK. I'm popping like a motherfucker. That's almost like that's the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Has there been talk since then about you maybe coming back and doing some other stuff, or is it something that you're just not really interested in just now?
Like I said, man, I'm focused right now with the National Wrestling Alliance. And somebody calls me, somebody tells me anything there, we could talk. I'm just going with the flow. I used to be really stressed out back in the days, like why WWE, why this, why that. Then I call me, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, and it's not, man. I'm not a yes man. Maybe not. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm a team player. I'm a coach now, man. I make the best. Like some of the guys that on TV is because of me. A lot of people don't know that, because I guess it's the way I talk, the way my swag, my character, my gimmick, even though it's not a gimmick, but I don't know. I'm just very focused right now when I'm at right now, and let's see what happens in the future. I'm not gonna lie to you. My role is coming to an end. I'm hoping to God that I wrestle for 30 years, but my body is aching. I'm trying my best, go with the flow. I'm wrestling these young future wrestlers, and I'm trying to I still got it, but something's telling me that I need to slow down because I work hard, man. I very work hard. I'm still doing my suicide dives, still punching people in the faces, but I'm really focused right now with the National Wrestling Alliance and listen what happens in the future with these companies.
I love it. You mentioned there sort of your role in coaching and training the next generation. I want to ask you, if someone was stepping into the wrestling ring, into a wrestling school for the first time, what's that first piece of advice you would give them? Before you teach them to lock up, before you teach them how to do anything, what are you telling them to kind of get them in the right headset for becoming, a badass, a top level wrestler?
Well, two things. Number one, it depends on the age. The first thing I would say is, do you finish school? And some tell me no, and I tell them that I can't train you. It's a point to get the education. I'm a dropper. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a dropper. I used to be with gangbangers and doing stupid stuff. I dropped out of high school, and God forbid if I get hurt, what's gonna happen afterwards? Pro wrestling is my job. I make money. This is my job, my shoe job, whatever people want to call it. So I got no background. I got nothing. I had a scholarship for college, and like I said, man, I was making 10,000 just selling dope. It was stupid. It was stupid, and I dropped out of school. So I tell these people, these kids, like, you finish school? All right. I tell people, finish school. They come to me. Number two, also, you gotta have heart, gotta have passion. There's a lot of things that pro wrestling you gonna deal with. It becomes political. It becomes everything. Like, oh, you're too fat, you're too skinny. Oh, I don't like the way your clothes is. I don't like the way you look. It's so many things. It's like the real life. So you gotta have heart. You gotta have passion. You gotta go through a lot of BS to become a pro wrestler, top notch pro wrestling traveling, training, eating good. If you party, make sure you do it smart. Because let's be for real, there's a lot of people that I'm one of them. I love the party, but gotta be smart. So I tell kids these days, school is number one. School, you finish school, that's what I tell them. And two, you gotta have heart, gotta have passion, because you gotta deal with a lot of crap. It does. I hate that word. You gotta work harder. I don't know if you heard. A lot of people say things like that. You gotta work harder, or I am blessed. I work harder, and man, be quiet. Everybody works hard. I work hard, and I'm not saying that I'm in the gutter, but I should be wrestling and WrestleMania and the Tokyo Dome and stuff like that. Like I say, it could be something else. I don't know what it is, but it could be something. But I'm very happy where I'm at right now. I'm very, very happy. And I'm trying to hustle. I'm trying to grind. I'm part of the National Wrestling Alliance. I want this team to be bigger the way it is right now. And let's see what happens. But yeah, finish school and have heart. That's my best advice.
I love it. Great advice. And I want to talk a little bit about one specific man, because you are renowned for being one of the toughest men in wrestling, and rightfully so. And you have faced some of the other toughest guys, but arguably no one tougher than New Jack. You took on New Jack on 3 separate occasions from sort of 1998 to 2004. I was just wondering what it was like for you coming up against New Jack, and what was like mentally going into a match, knowing kind of the reputation of this guy. Were you slightly worried, or were you like, if he tries anything, I'm homicide, I'm sorted?
Absolutely. Like, you ever see Goodfellas, the movie?
Yes.
All right. He's Robert De Niro and I Joe Pesci.
Excellent.
Uh,
I like it.
I don't mess around. I really don't. New Jack recipe, he don't mess around. Two different worlds. I always remember I had a character gimmick called the Land Terror. It was stupid. It was corny. I always call it the bootleg version of Sting and Undertaker. There, maybe the blender with the House of Black. I don't know. It was stupid. But my friend told me be yourself. Like, as I was part of Gambagin, and I became myself. And I told her what to be my name, MC Hammer. I don't know. I need a name. And they told me we was watching TV and somebody was on the run for homicide. I was like, yeah, homicide. That's not a mockable name, but I'm gonna use it. And it became 20 years that I'm still having that name. So make the story short, I became myself. Um, my friend cut my hair very wrong. I tried to just take it off. I had a mullet. I looked like Eddie Guerrero. Like I was so I tried to take it off. And this is 1994. So he shaved it. I had a bald head since 1994. Then one day I was looking at magazines and I saw a tattoo called The Gangsters and Smoking My Wrestling. And I love the name because they have Public Enemy, ECW. And I was like, it kind of inspired me even more to become the way I am, because I hated Public Enemy. Not as a person, I didn't even know them, but as a team, I hated them. So yes, came around and I was like, what is this? And I see I got that looks like me. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people gonna say a lot of things. I can't wait. And it happened. And I remember it was so bad that people used to call me a wannabe, because I hate that word wannabe. I really hate it. And one reporter, I forgot the guy's name, but he was a reporter in 1997. He called me a wannabe New Jack. I had a machete and I was gonna chop his arms because I was stupid and crazy back then. And my friend Lola Blue kind of saved my life because I could have been in jail right now and not doing this interview. And a couple of times New Jack, I hated it, not because of the hardcore things. I should have done more. I was almost a rookie. He was a veteran already, and I think it should have been more. So basically, like, we spoke. He liked me, and I remember we had a bad car accident, and he was mad at me because I was driving, and it was bad. And we started talking for 1 year. Then we went back talking, and I was supposed to go to ECW with him, but that's when ECW closed down, and we supposed to be the new gangsters. And that's when Ring of Honor came in, and boom, I just got into Ring of Honor with my partner Boogaloo, and we just took off.
I love it, man. You're one of the guys, and the reason I've been when you were back with the Ring of Honor pushing to try and get an interview with you, and now in NWA they've been so kind as to lend us a bit of your time. Is you just have such an interesting story. I think that, in my opinion, there's no wrestler quite like Homicide. You know, even outside of your incredible sort of in-ring style, your story, your background is kind of one of a kind. I want to ask you. You mentioned sort of Jim Cornette there, and the gangsters and Smoky Mountain Wrestling where he was working, and you mentioned earlier being a fan of Jim Cornette. Have you guys crossed paths at all at any point? I know he's one of those guys that is constantly online talking. Have you guys had a chance to kind of link up? I know you were in Ring of Honor kind of apart.
Yeah, back in the days, but not recently. Like last time I seen them, it was like convention for autographs, and I was happy to see him. He was happy to see me. He lost a lot of weight at the time. He was going through Weight Watchers or something, and man, like I say, man, I know a lot of people got different opinions about Jim Cornette. They just keep it real. You know, a
Yeah,
lot of people like
100%.
it. You know, and it's like, ugh, you know, but I really like the dude. You know, we have wars of Ring of Honor, and I'm happy, and it was an honor to be part of a program with Jim Cornette, with JJ Dillon, Alan Pierce, man, all those guys. So I got much love for Jim Cornette. You know, like I had an idea that I wanted Jim Cornette come to a show and become a manager. It doesn't mean me, but he don't like that for wrestling. And the idea that somebody like Matt Tremont, who's a legend, he just do a promo and somehow if the lights cut off, it'll be Jim Cornette with his tennis racket with thumbtacks and beat the crap out of Matt Tremont. But I think Jim Cornette don't want to be part of that at all. He got a different opinion about that wrestling. He's doing podcasts. He's living good. I wish that he could do his own promotion or become an agent or something. He used to work for the NWA. I like to mind my business. I don't even know what the hell what happened when he left, but I miss him. You know, and a lot of people will be like, "Homicide's crazy." Yeah, I am. You know, but hey, it is what it is. A lot of people got a different opinion. I like that dude. So
No, Jim's a great guy. We inside the ropes, we've done a few tours with him, had him over. He's one of those guys not afraid to speak his mind, and I think we need a lot of that in the modern day. You mentioned kind of should be main event in the Tokyo Dome, should be at WrestleMania. We've seen you all over. We've seen you New Japan, AEW, Ring of Honor, obviously NWA, TNA. The one place we haven't seen you is WWE. Was there ever a point in time where that was something that was being discussed or on the table, or is it just a case of that door never really opened for you for whatever reason?
um I don't know if this counts. It was a show in Ring of Honor. It was 2005. I also coached band in New York City. And Mick Foley was there. And I went to the locker room. Mick Foley was like, wow, like, Vince man will love you. And I was confused because he told me I had to cry in my hands. Like, I had every race because I'm that kind of guy that I'm not into one, I'm into everybody. And he told me this is his number. It was John Laurinaitis. I think that's his name. He told me this is his number. Give him a call. Okay, so when I'm about to call him, call me. And he told me I'm doing a new project. It's called the Latin American Exchange in TNA Wrestling. I want you to be part of it. So I got two things, like TNA or WWE. So I called WWE. I called Johnny Laurinaitis, and he was driving. And I told, hey Johnny, they call me D. This is D. I got your number, Mick Foley. Hey, could you call me back? I'm driving. Okay. For some reason, for 2 minutes later, I was like, I'm gonna call TNA. And I called TNA. That was the only thing that happened to
That's all
me
it took.
in the WWE. It was 2005, and a lot of people telling me about the travel schedule, and I just don't know, man. I feel like I want to be part of something big in WWF and WWE. And at the time, like, you had so many great people in that roster, like, what's his name? Gibson. He's like an angel right now. I forgot his first name, but he's a phenomenal wrestler. Um, Said to like, Couch Close Sons, phenomenal wrestlers at the time. So I always felt the way my size, that was not looking at me. I mean, the money's good, but I want to be something big.
Yeah.
So I went to TNA. I was part of something that was made history, and at the time, TNA was phenomenal. It was great, and yeah, I picked TNA over WWE, but that was the only time with WWE that I kind of like maybe spoke to them. I don't know if that counts, but that was the only time. There was so many times that I don't know. Nobody called me. I got a lot of friends in WWE, but they never. Hey, D, Homicide, let's go to never, never. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm happy where I'm at right now. If I can't make it, I can't make it. That's the way it is in wrestling. Like, if you don't go to a company, they'll call you because you're doing something wrong. I feel that I'm doing something wrong. I really don't know what it is, but I gotta sit down and just think what the hell I'm doing wrong, that I cannot have WWE calling me. I cannot have going to Tokyo Dome to have a trip, even though I wrestled for New Japan Strong in the United States at
Yeah.
Philadelphia. I wrestled Will Ospreay. To me, it was phenomenal. But still, like, I should have been walking the Tokyo Dome, But now, like I say, like, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not a yes man. I don't know what it is. I really don't. It is what it is. You just gotta be blessed at grateful what you got right now. That's what I got. Like, I feel like I'm the underground king of pro wrestling. I'm not Rey Mysterio, John Cena. I'm not those guys, but in the underground, it's my world.
I think that underground king of pro wrestling, I think that's perfect because I think, despite the fact you may not have, as you said, there been at the Tokyo Dome or WrestleMania, I think you're still arguably the biggest name outside of sort of guys that have wrestled for those companies. When people talk about the prime era of wrestling, that sort of 2005, 2012 sort of era, Homicide is the one that always comes up. LAX Homicide, the stuff you're doing. I mean, it's you were next level. So I think it's almost a higher compliment for you that you've managed to create this legacy around yourself without that call from the WBE. We're going to do some quick fire questions in a minute, some non-wrestling stuff to wrap up. But before then, I want to ask you, NWA 74, the 2-night event, August 27th, 28th. Some of the fans watching this might not have watched an NWA show before. What should they expect, and what to you makes the National Wrestling Alliance special compared to the hundreds of wrestling promotions out there at the moment?
A lot of people they want to see fast paced, brawling, just everything. That's what the NWA got. The National Wrestling Alliance got the best wrestlers, the best junior weights, heavyweight, the best girls, just everything you can name them. I know a lot of people don't watch NWA because think about, oh, this is old, this is about 1950s. Stop it. Like, just give us a chance. I want everybody to check out the NWA. Like I said, you got people like myself gonna wrestle Kerry Morton. A lot of people feels like, I'm talking about like fans right now, hardcore fans. They feel like, Kerry Morton, he's not like Liger or Suzuki or Will Ospreay. No, he's not. But I give it to him in 5 years, he could be somebody, and I'm gonna make him that day. That's the thing. Like, he's gonna be trying to take my belt, and I love my belt. I really do. I love it to be part of history, and I'm telling you now, he's gonna come to St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm gonna get my ass whooping. He's gonna have a green light. But for a lot of people, I'm trying to check out the NWA 74. It's gonna be a great, great card, great wrestlers. People's gonna have fun, and they're gonna enjoy the show.
I love it. We always like to wrap up here with a quick fire questions. Most of them are non-wrestling related, just the first thing that comes to mind. Just a bit of fun to mix things up. So I'm going to kick things off with, having been in wrestling for so long, had to look after your physique, had to make sure you're in tip-top shape. What's your go-to cheat meal? If you're having a day where you're not thinking about calories or the gym, what's the food you want in front of you right then?
Well, great question, because I'm like that right now. Back in days, beer, and hot dogs and
Oh,
marijuana. That was my thing.
that's a good trio.
When you get older, it's like, wow, you gotta be set, you gotta be ready. But I noticed not only you gotta be top condition, is in the ring condition. Like a lot of people say my cardio is very super. I'm very underrated when it comes to cardio. I could wrestle any guy in this planet for 3-4 hours. I could blow him up. Matter of fact, last week I wrestled Ricky Marvin, a lucha legend, and there was a referee that he was blowing up. Like how you have referee who's not doing anything, just one, two, three. That's it. He was blowing up. And we had a technical wrestling match. It was no fast paced, high flying. It was very technical, But when it comes to like working out, a lot of people say protein. You know, to me, it's fish, protein, and try to work out 4 times a day. Be careful with the fast food, with the fried food. Be careful with the partying. You gotta be smart. Tell you. But when it comes to like working out, like eating is more important than hitting the weights. When you hit the weights, you gotta eat. The broccoli, the carrots,
Yeah.
the fish, the chicken. You gotta be very, very. It's a mental stage when it comes to diet. Because sometimes you love that chocolate chip cookie, pizza. Because I'm one of them, but you gotta fight it. And that's it. You gotta fight it. You gotta be mentally strong when it comes to that. So work out like 4 times a week. I love to do sandbag workouts. It's a military workouts. A lot of people love to do like hit the bar. I love to do sandbag because cardio strength. You be a badass in the ring. And right now, I'm 45 years old. I've been wrestling for 28 years. I'm in the top shape right now because of the sandbag training. It is badass. I feel that I could go like 5 hours with Dana Bryan, with anybody, Bob Backlund. I don't care. Anybody.
I love it. You mentioned pizza there, so we're going to go controversial. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Ooh, pineapple. I'm a New Yorker. Hell no.
I thought so. I thought so. Um, if you weren't a wrestler right now, what do you think you'd be doing in life?
Great question. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always thinking about this every day. Oh man. Producing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess like my new thing right now is producing. It could be anything. It could be especially wrestling, behind the scenes, especially. I love to create characters. The wrestling to me is like a storytelling. I love to create movies in wrestling. So I don't know. Yeah, producing. I think that'd be one. That'd be my next step after performing is producing.
I love it. So the next one, I want to know. You've talked about producing that, so I'm doing a thing at the moment. I'm listening to a different album every day all year. I want to know. You're a man of culture. You're a man that's talked about music a few times. Recommend me an album. What album should I listen to next? What's your favorite album of all time?
Mm, my favorite album of all time is 36 Chambers of Death, kid. Wu-Tang Clan.
Nice.
That's
Okay, I love it.
That's my number two is Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die.
I love it, man. Those are some good picks. We've had some interesting choices from wrestlers. I don't usually associate wrestlers and good music choices nowadays because of it, but those are, especially the Wu Tang album, really good picks. And to end things off, the last question before we throw it over to you to plug whatever you want to plug is: you've got the day off, you've got the week off, you're on holiday. You maybe you said beer, hot dogs, and marijuana. You've maybe had some beer, had a little smoke, you're drinking, eating some hot dogs. What are you sitting down to watch? What's your go-to, almost like relax movie? I would call it. I guess some people would call it like your go-to stoner movie. I'm thinking like Pineapple Express, that sort of thing. What's your go-to?
My kids. I gotta hang out with my kids. That's
Nice.
my main. Especially, I got a 1-year daughter. I got a baby girl Homicide who loves wrestling, and I'm trying my best for she could read another future. But she loves wrestling. It's so funny that she knows the bloodline. Like she does the number one, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. She loves those shows. I got a bump pick with the Samoan family, so yeah, about my kids is number one. I got a boy and girl, man. I got 24-year boy who's doing his thing, and he's a good boy, not like me when I was a kid. And I got a baby daughter, you know. And number two, I love watching movies. You know, I love pro wrestling. I love watching old school wrestling when it comes to European scene, the Japanese scene, the United States. Anything's old school. I love it, and movies. But number one is my kids.
I love it, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on to chat for us today. It's been, like I say, I've been emailing Mark, a guy at NW, just now desperate to try and get this going since he jumped over there. Big fan. Before we go, I just want to throw it over to you. Obviously, we got NWA 74 coming up on the 27th and 28th of August, which fans should check out. They can buy the full package, the 2 nights for $39.99 US on Fight TV. So make sure you do that. But outside of that, I want to throw it over to you, Homicide. I don't know if you've got a merch store or social media, anything like that you want to send to people to. If you do, the platform's yours. Go for it, and we'll make sure to get the link below as well.
Well, I'm really terrible when it comes to social network. I really don't got no Twitter. I think I'm the only person that's got no Twitter. I got Instagram. It's called Side like a homicide side. I love 5150. I do got a Facebook. To me, Facebook is a joke. You know. Merchandise. I got so many people yelling at me about merch. So my merch is coming soon. But as right now, it's basically the NWA.com. Get your tickets, your merch, just everything. Yourself, Beyond the Ropes, everything, man. Support your podcast, support pro wrestling, support your heroes, support your villains. Fuck, support everything.
There you have it,
Except
guys.
the devil. He's a bitch. The devil's a bitch.
Exactly, guys. There you are. You heard it. So all the links below will be below for Homicide's Instagram, the NWA website, and of course the fight link to NWA 74. Make sure you check it out, because I don't care if you annoy me, but Homicide is one man you do not want to annoy. So do not let him down. And as we always like to end things, I don't care what you do, just please remember to be good people.
Absolutely. Be good. Don't be bad. Don't be like Steve Carino. He's bad. No, I'll play.